In the news this week, the Christian Institute warns against concerning guidance aimed at Sunday schools. The number of motorists arrested for drug driving has dramatically increased. And a Canadian politician has used a speech in Parliament to share the Christmas message. Hello. Proposed guidance from the Department for Education, which hints at the regulation of church youth work, is causing fresh concerns about state overreach. The DFE launched a consultation on the guidance and in one question asked how to ensure groups take up the voluntary code of conduct and meet the standards set. The Christian Institute is warning that new controls could be foisted on Sunday schools, sports clubs and other youth groups.
Well, Christians will not have forgotten that it was the Department for Education that wanted to legislate to regulate exactly how Sunday schools were run and every other kind of youth work that churches might be involved in. Here we are now with guidance, and it's voluntary, and a lot of it is fairly uncontroversial. But I'm still concerned that the DFE thinks it's its job to tell churches exactly how to run their youth work. I'm still concerned that churches that don't use this voluntary guidance might begin to be treated with suspicion by local government or national government. So I think we have to monitor very carefully what is done with this guidance, how it's used, and I think we'll have to keep a very careful eye on it in the future.
The Scottish Government has been told it should not alter its census to remove biological sex and replace it with gender identity. Holyrood politicians are also considering introducing a third gender option for people who say they identify as neither male nor female. But academics say that replacing objective facts about biological sex with subjective feelings would render the information gathered meaningless. Rosa Friedman, a professor of law at the University of Reading, criticised the government's plans. Conflating sex and gender identity will undermine sex as a separate category protected by law. The proportion of motorists failing tests for banned substances has risen dramatically in the last 2 years. Over a 1-month period, 57% of motorists pulled over for driving erratically tested positive for banned substances such as cannabis and cocaine, up from 40% in 2016. The police also uncovered a 54% rise in accidents involving drug drivers compared with the same period last year. A spokesperson for road safety charity Break said these shocking figures highlight the prevalence of drug driving on our roads and must act as a wake-up call. And finally, a Christian politician has used a speech in the Canadian Parliament to share a gospel message in the run-up to Christmas. Ted Falk has previously used his platform to talk about Jesus' death and resurrection. His short speech received a standing ovation.
As Christmas approaches, let us remember that there was and is one light above all others, and that's God's Son, Jesus. Jesus said, "I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life." And Jesus called us to be lights as well. He said, "You are the light of the world. Let your light shine before others." Mr. Speaker, let the lights all around us this Christmas remind us to be guided by the one true light and reflect the light of Jesus' love in our lives. May we all be the light that brightens this world. Mr. Speaker, Merry Christmas.
Well, that's all for this week. For more information on all of our stories and much more, visit our website at christian.org.uk. Until next time, goodbye.